All right, so I'm gonna try out a couple new things here this morning. I'm getting more into again, I go through these waves where I get into my core tone for a little bit, and now I'm kind of swinging back to doing experimental sounds. And that's what we got going on here today. In the Zoya, I've got a sound on sound patch, and what I did is I sent a couple delay lines. I can go up to 16 seconds, but right now I'm at 5.77 seconds through a bucket brigade style delay, just set to a short delay time, sound on sound style. So it's going to cycle back through itself, and I have a lot of control over that. Into the HX effects, which has been my flavor of the day for a while here. It's so convenient. LA2A into a kind of a tremolo with all kinds of random things going on. Shuffling looper, space echo style delay into a shimmer reverb. Just something a little more spacey than I typically have been doing. But as you can hear, this volume pedal is still driving me crazy, which might win the HX effects trip right off of my little pedal desk I got here. I cannot stand that, and it's unacceptable. I might have to bring my Morley volume pedal back in, even though it requires 20 more feet of cable. This is not acceptable. I got the volume pedal turned all the way down right now, and it's still sending a signal through. So I'm gonna ignore it for the sake of this one. But the shuffling looper is pretty cool inside the HX effects. So we're gonna see what kind of jam we can get. I'm gonna set up a sound on sound loop, add in the shuffling looper, and then do my typical little play a lead thing over the top. And I guess we'll go with let's go with a Lydian today, if you want to jam along. Just letting the shuffling looper record what's coming out of the Zoya, and that'll jazz it up a little bit. And if you're not familiar with A Lydian, just pretend you're in E major. So one other interesting note about this patch I did on the Zoya is I have an envelope follower attached to the output of the sound on sound loop, and I reduced the connection strength, so now it's at full volume. And let me see if I can find out where I have it. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's at 0 right now. But if I start playing over it, see how the The envelope follower is lowering the volume of that output as I play, so it's kind of like ducking it, which keeps it present when I'm not playing, but when I am playing, it sits a little better in the background. I thought that was a pretty cool little touch on this particular effect. Not a particularly complex effect. Now I am going to experiment the tape emulation on this. Gets too broken. It doesn't really sound like a tape reel. It breaks up, not in a bad way. I'm really tempted. This is why the Zoya is so cool. I can experiment with things I'm thinking about. But I really want to try an El Capistan. I feel one of the only notable subscribers I've had has been Strymon, and it's crazy because for whatever reason I don't have any Strymon pedals right now. So I feel I've owned a lot of Strymon pedals, just I haven't happened to have any Strymon pedals. So I'd like to get an El Capistan. I'm kind of waiting for see what the heck they release next. I'd kind of like to get a Lex as well. I've had a lot of their other pedals, but having these multi-effects here, with the Zoya and the HX effects kind of gets me where I want to be in a very convenient way. But I'd really like to try the Sound on the El Capistan. So there you go. That's my experiments for the morning. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a better recording than this, but just been in the mood of goofing around more than anything. Oh, and this expression pedal. Next time you see me, this HX effects might be off the friggin' table. If I can't figure out what's going on with this volume pedal, because it is absolutely going to drive me insane. Then on one last positive note, this PRS is great. It's literally the only PRS I've ever played in my life, let alone owned. But everything works on it. It's a mahogany body with a maple top, and it's not crazy heavy. It has a lot of its own inherent sustain. I taken almost all the compression off my signal chain, with the exception of this LA2A style compression, and that's only because I like the way the LA2A compression sounds. Plus, I'm coming out of the Bass Breaker 45 here at full wattage, so you're going to get some natural sustain coming out of that thing, and that kind of guitar compression, the way you want to hear it, and it's hard to replicate without having an amp pumping out some wattage. So things are working really well, except for this volume pedal right now. Until next time.